quest for the ultimate build continues. Been learning a lot about crafting and making a lot of mistakes along the way, but I'm really starting to understand how a lot of the systems work, and we have this is the current setup here. 2 life flasks, the good old Sorrow the Divine with 3 uses. This is really nice. It gives me 40% increased damage, and during the effect I get Zealot's Oath, which means I leech energy shield, and also my life flasks apply to energy shield. It also creates Consecrated Grounds, which have a real beefy evasion flask with max charges and 60% increased evasion during effect, so it's like 2000 odd evasion, more than that. And this goes off automatically when I use a life flask, so I don't actually press this. Then the mana flask, which I don't use all the time, but it allows me to do maps where I can't regen mana naturally, and also removes casts on use. Wands, this is the last piece I need to upgrade. I want to get a wand with +1 level to all fire skills, +1 level to all skills, then either fire pen or added fire, crit chance, mind throwing speeds. That's a long-term goal. I'm trying to craft it at the moment. Each thing, it doesn't matter. Ring, crafted this bad boy up. Craft itself. Is this the one I'm meant to be using? Yes, this is just a bog standard strength, lightning resist, endurance charge, channeling skills. This one here is a bit more specialized. It's got crit chance modifier, which you normally can't roll on a ring, but by doing essence crafting, then scouring it down and doing this one cost me 7 divines to craft. But it's a beast. Got +1 enduring charges, channeling skill, max life, evasion rating, and crit chance modifier. It's almost perfect. The only thing that could be improved is the values, like the higher max life and higher evasion. That's almost perfect. Oops. This is where I start stepping, avoiding poison. It's +1 to max fire res. 100% chance to avoid being chilled is also very important because of my belt inflicts chill on me. Got another max res, fire exposure, and traps and mines chain additional times. This is almost perfect with pair of gloves as well. Shield could be better. It's got a low roll of increased evasion and energy shield, so that's something I can look to improve. But it's still not bad. It's got the increased block chance, suppressing, crit chance. Amulets is really nice. This is probably never going to change. I had to spend a few divines because the one that dropped was 20% quality to all skills, and I defined it until it got to 30. Helmet's new today. This is an expedition craft, which turned out absolutely insane. 99% increased evasion, 125 to max life, item rarity, which is just a nice little bonus, and 3 reses. and 7% fizz damage from hits. That's the Grand Eldritch Ember, which I used Orb of Conflict to increase. And the piece of resistance is this thing here. This is something I've been working on for a week now. It's just absolutely incredible. Cost me 12 or 13 divines to craft it, but the recombination was the most expensive part of it, to get the 108% increased energy shield and 352 evasion and 84 energy shield. One res roll, there's one sort of dud roll, which is 15% increased stun and block recovery, but can't be perfect. And that's it. Let's have a look at how it does in the map. Running my reduced tier 16 corrupted at the moment. It's crazy how much more you need to build into defense than you do into your offense in this game. Like, everything is balanced around your defense. Offense is what you think about last. It's so difficult to, like, you get so much offensive scaling in this skill tree. These big, like 30% for elemental damage, chunky things in the skill tree. But building into defense is so much more difficult because most of your defensive scaling strictly comes from your gear. Like, you don't get any maximum resistances in the skill tree. You don't get like big chunky evasion, energy shield, things like that in the skill tree. And the gems as well are usually mostly to do with either damage or utility, not strict defense. I found what's incredibly powerful is maximum resistances. So I used to run Enduring Cry, which gives you up to three evasion endurance charges, based on the power of surrounding enemies, and I actually swapped that out. So I did something quite different. I rolled minimum endurance charges on both rings and on my amulets with my anointing disciple of the unyielding. That gives you 3 minimum endurance charges, so all you get from Enduring Cry at that point is the extra health regen, which you don't really need. The endurance charges are the juicy part of it. So instead of running what should we call it? Enduring Cry, I swapped it out for Ancestral, I think it's called Ancestral Cry. Yeah, Ancestral Cry. This one gives you up to +5 to all maximum elemental resistances. And on my gear, I've got +1 to max lightning resistance, +1 to max fire resistance, +1 to max cold resistance. So that's everything setting at 76 resistance. And then on the chest piece, +1 to all maximum resistances. So I've got 77 natural resistance, and then when I hit Ancestral Cry, that gives me another 5, so I've got 82 natural maximum resistances. So then these two rolls here, 7% of fizz damage from hits taken as lightning, and 11% of fizz damage from hits taken as cold. That synergizes with the maximum resistances, because the physical damage is getting like absolutely muted because it's taking using my elemental damage as a base. My defense is base because I've got these cranks maximum resistances that are hard to take any damage from elemental hits in the first place. And on top of that, I've got 100% spell suppression chance, which cuts all spell damage in half, basically. But yeah, build is very nice, as you can see. Like, it's clears with no problem. The only place it really struggles is if I roll incredibly bad modifiers on the map. A really difficult one to deal with is you can't regenerate energy shield, life, and mana, and you combine that with something like Burning Grounds, it can be quite challenging to deal with, but this one still does most stuff. Bosses aren't a problem. You can run the Ubers and the Pinnacles without much trouble. Run two different mercenaries. This is my map mercenary. This dude gives me extra movement speed and extra evasion, so I can just go through the maps quickly. And then when I go into the bosses, I run the other mercenary, which gives me crit chance, crit damage, and health regen. So it gives you damage and defense. As for defensive stats, 77 all natural max res. Could use a little bit more chaos. It's not that important. 4,200 life, 1,800 energy shield, and estimated chance to evade is 77%. So not a lot of evasion with 1/3 energy shield. Good life. My life and energy shield is not anything crazy, but I've got a lot of reductions and defensive layers, which I very rarely see. On occasion, a big hit can get through and knock me down really low, but it doesn't happen that often. See the boss damage here. This one's empowered by a good Wisp as well, so it's like twice as tanky for him past 7 seconds. That's about it. I think the character's pretty much done. I just want to craft this wand, which I'm still in the alteration or spamming process of at the moment to try and get to affixes that I want. Then I'll use a Hunter's Exalted Orb to put a Hunter's Influence and hopefully hit either Fire Pen or Elemental Exposure with that. And then the last step will be putting it in the crafting bench and using 2 divines to do the 3 crafted modifiers efforts, and I'll be doing the first modifier will be Mind Throwing Speed, the second modifier will be a split of Int, Strength and Crit Chance. That'll be that. By the way, Expedition is awesome for farming currency. So good.